How is Lapis doing? Lapis, you know, I wonder, how is Lapis doing? We haven't seen Lapis in a couple sessions. It's time to talk about the baby girl. Up, Dave. Yeah, we had a Lapis session yesterday, and some shit happened. Chat, have you ever had an overnight watch in D&D that had so much fucking personal drama happening that it lasts for 2 sessions? The longest night watch ever lasted 2 full sessions because we have so much fucking shit going on. Oh my god. Okay, basically, Lapis has some shit going on. If you guys are not up to date on Lapis, the short version is they had an encounter with basically the villain of the campaign, the big bad evil guy who is like this big archfey named Grandmother. That's just what everyone calls her. And we are finding out now, after that encounter, that Lapis has some kind of connection with Grandmother, even though she doesn't realize it. But you know who does definitely have a connection with Grandmother and knows about it? Is the other person who keeps taking over Lapis's body and controlling her for short periods of time. Can you talk about Larry yet? You know what? Actually, I can talk about Larry. Is this gonna turn into the Larry stream now? Because I think we have passed that point. So, okay, I can't tell you exactly how it works. Lapis and Larry, whose real name we have found out now, their situation is really complicated. And a lot of people have been trying to figure out exactly what Lapis and quote unquote Larry's whole thing is. A lot of people have guessed it's some kind of magical possession. I had a lot of people jump to the conclusion that it was like a dissociative identity disorder thing, and I had to be like, guys, no, that's not what it is. I have a lot of people guessing like just various things. No one has guessed it right because it's weird shit. It's real weird shit what the two of them have going on. But basically, if you're not up to date, ever since the encounter with Grandmother, Lapis is occasionally being possessed, being taken over, It's basically like kind of switching with this other person who we have affectionately been calling Larry. Their real name is Laz, and I'll go into that in more detail in a hot second. So Lapis like has amnesia. She doesn't really know what's going on. Laz seems like they do fully know what's going on and is actively keeping it a secret from Lapis and like everybody else. And so we've seen Laz a couple times. Laz has been quote unquote activated a couple times, and their personalities are very different, and it's very fun for me. So Larry was 2/5, right? I'll take it. Yeah, actually, one of the reasons I loved Larry is because it was so similar to her real name. So most of the party does not know that Laz exists. They just know that Lapis has been like having little blackouts and she's been like missing time and she doesn't know what's going on. However, Dave found out about Laz, and then as a result, he then went and spilled the beans to Lapis, who then had like a whole thing about it and was just like, oh, what the fuck does that mean? Who the fuck is that? And then later on, another party member named Dagger, our sorcerer, our undead sorcerer who is keeping the fact that he is dead a secret. Dagger was like, hey, I've also been like having weird blackouts and missing time, and their circumstances are not different. Or well, they are different, but they have their similarities. Both of them are a grandmother related thing, but Lapis does not realize that yet. As of the last session, we have found out that Laz's full name is in fact Lazuli, because I'm quirky like that when I name my characters. Just to give you an idea, Lapis, sweet little baby angel, very shy, but also like very curious about things. She's a little bit of a downer sometimes, but you know, she's real sad about a lot of things, but she's also determined to figure her shit out. Lazuli is an asshole. And okay, you know what? I guess I can say this at this point. I think it's not a secret. It's not a secret worth keeping anymore because the players know about it. This is not like their exact situation. Like Lapis and Lazuli, like being together and like what their whole situation is still a secret. Like we still have not revealed that. However, the main cause of Lapis's like blackouts and shit and her and Laz switching places is not because she's like being possessed. It's not like a DID thing or anything. She's literally a sleeper agent. Laz is an assassin, former assassin who has gone rogue and is now essentially hiding in a small baby. The exact reason behind their situation has yet to be revealed, but I'm very excited for it. Yeah, so Lazuli, she's a sleeper agent, she's an assassin, is no longer under grandmother's control, but is still very worried about like falling back into her clutches, essentially. And I couldn't say that up until now because I didn't want like Leevely, my editor, hi Leevely, watches all my streams and edits clips for me. And so I didn't want to say any spoilers because I knew that Leevely would see it. And like sometimes other party members will also pop into the chat, but Lapis occasionally, when someone tries to tell Lapis about like grandmother or try to like reveal memories to her, that's when Laz takes over because Laz is self-identified as a defense mechanism. And so Laz's whole thing is like, I am basically here to protect Lapis. That is my main thing. We still don't know exactly what the nature of their relationship is because Lapis does not know who Laz is or why she is there. Laz obviously knows, but is not telling anybody. Again, it's a bit of a dick, but I love her. She's the bit of a dick that's very fun for me. I identify as a threat. Yes, exactly. Exactly, very much. Is Laz a distinct person or just a personality within Lapis? Secret third thing. But yes, for the record, Laz and Larry are the same person. So if you guys watch that video where I talked about all my OCs and I talked about Larry, that's Laz. That's who they are. You might notice that I'm switching pronouns around for Laz. Laz's pronouns are what the fuck ever you want. It doesn't matter. We love a non-binary assassin. I mostly stick with she, they, but like, it's whatever. Sisters, no, they are not siblings. And if Rose would hear, she'd be pounding on her desk and going, damn it, because that's one of her theories. Like, okay, well, grandmother like keeps kidnapping siblings. This is a thing that she is known to do, is like kidnapping one half of sibling pairs and like doing weird shit to them. So maybe Laz is Lapis's siblings. And I'm going to sit you down and say, no, that is not what their situation is. Secret fourth thing. I'm just very excited. I have been drawing so much of like Lapis and Lazuli. I just love them so much and I cannot wait to like get more info on them. Oh, but so the fun part is the party is slowly but surely learning about Laz. And they're freaked the fuck out. So this most recent session, two of the other characters, this pair of tiefling siblings, Reese and Helena, we haven't had much time with the two of them because Reese's player was really busy for like the entire month of December. And so I've just been clawing at the walls waiting for sibling time. I need to know what the fuck the siblings are doing because so after the grandmother incident, everybody got mind wiped, but the siblings were able to get their memories back after the incident, but they've not told the rest of the party. And so right now it's really just like a big fucking game of Clue of everybody knows, but nobody knows what the other characters know. And it's like, oh, whoa. So the siblings have found out about Laz. They knew that like something was going on with Lapis when she has her quote unquote blackouts, but they didn't know what exactly was going on. The siblings, while Lapis was sleeping, the siblings stole Dave because Dave also has retained his memories when the party got mind wiped. And the siblings know about this, and so they wanted to get Dave alone so that they could interrogate him. So they waited until Lapis was asleep. Spoiler alert, she was not asleep. It was Laz pretending to be asleep, who let them do this because she wanted to gather information. But yeah, so they basically like took Dave and they went and interrogated him. And when Dave started spilling Laz's secrets, Laz, pretending to be Lapis, pretended to wake up and be like, Dave, what happened? Where'd you go, buddy? How'd you get out of your little cage? Don't roll around. The sun's gonna come up soon. It's dangerous. And she goes over, she collects Dave. And the thing about Laz is that Laz has no riz, no charisma, cannot pass a deception check to save her life. So, you know, she's still pretending to be Lapis, but the siblings know that's not Lapis. She was compared to like having the eyes of a predator. So there was like this really cool moment where it was described as like, when it's Lapis, Lapis has like kind of scared rabbit energy. She kind of like walks very inward. She doesn't gesture a lot. She doesn't walk with a lot of confidence. But when Laz is controlling, when Laz is piloting, Laz moves like a predator. Every step is very calculated. Always is kind of like looking at everything, kind of watching everything, kind of walks with like her shoulders back, ready to pounce. The way Jay described it is extremely intimidating, and both of the siblings caught on to it without actually like saying anything. They ended up having like a short conversation, and it's just like heebity-jeebities. Oh, it was so cool though. It was so cool. I'm gonna have to draw that shit. I'm real excited. So basically now, Dave knows that Laz exists. Dave does not know, this is another thing that's actually started happening recently, is that whenever Lapis falls asleep, Laz is taken over. That's a relatively new thing. It's only happened twice so far, but that is a thing that happens. Dagger, the party's undead sorcerer, knows basically everything, including the sleeping part. And so once he found that out, Laz is basically like, hey, you and me are going to take night watch from now on, and I need you to keep me updated on everything that the party is doing. You're an accomplice in this now. Haha. Also, if you try to hurt Lapis in any way, I will kill you. That is a knife that is on the table. The siblings know that someone or something is controlling Lapis, but they don't know who or what. They just know that they're very intimidating. Some of the other party members know like a couple of things. It's very much just like a logic game at this point. It's kind of turned into a spy versus spy type thing, where it's just like everybody knows something, but nobody knows exactly what everybody else knows. And it's so fucking fun, gang. I love me some spicy hecking intrigue. But no, Laz being a former assassin was a little chestnut I've been sitting on for a really long time, as well as her being a sleeper agent. When the short talking about Lapis first went up, a lot of people assumed that she had DID and then like got on me for like doing bad representation. And I'm like, guys, she doesn't know, stop it. And I wanted to scream so bad. She doesn't have DID, she's a fucking sleeper agent, like so badly, but I couldn't because it's spoilers. And I'm like, now I can scream about it. And so I'm happy. It's to the point where like I've had separate dice sets. I can attest for all systems we are sleeper agents. What's your activation phrase? Because fun fact, Laz/Lapis actually has an activation phrase. It's been written on the first page of her notes journal since I bought it, and it hasn't come up yet, but I'm excited for it because it's pretty cool, actually. It's pretty cool. You know what the fun thing is, though? You know what the fun thing is? When you go into a D&D campaign knowing that your character is like a former sleeper agent who's managed to somewhat break their programming, and you think, wow, yes, cool, I am a sleeper agent, and this is a secret that I will keep for as long as possible in this campaign. And then in the first session, your DM reveals that there is 2 sleeper agents in the party, and they activate the one that's not you. And then you send a bunch of very strongly worded key smash DMs to him, and you're just like, what the fuck? What do you mean? What did you mean by this? Oh my god. So that was fun. That gave me a fucking heart attack on our very first session, and I couldn't explain why. And that was just like, I'm so glad that we do not use face cam, because I would have given the game away. Is it a specifically worded phrase or something that would come up in game naturally? No, it's a specific combination of words. However, we do have something entirely different, which is we have a code phrase for Lapis, because Lapis was like, I keep being taken over by somebody else, and I feel like we need to come up with some kind of code phrase so you can identity check me and make sure that it's actually me you're talking to and not the imposteur. And long story short, the phrase they ended up, it's like a call and response. And so one of the other party members asked Lapis, is like, hey Lapis, what's your favorite song? And the correct response is, I am the celery queen. And if she cannot produce the secret phrase, then she's an imposteur. There was a rationale to why that was picked as the code phrase, but it's also just funny. I am the celery queen. I actually did like a little sketchbook comic about that, of Lapis just being like, why is this what we decided on? So if you guys haven't seen, Lapis has little standees. I made acrylic standees of Lapis and Dave, and they're up in my shop now. There was a moment in the most recent session where we were concerned that there was going to be some PvP for reasons I haven't really gone into. We entered the session fully knowing that there was a potential chance for PvP, and it was going to be Lapis versus Dagger, or rather Laz versus Dagger. And apparently, like, Dagger's player, hi Leevely, they were having a conversation with a friend and like recapping the session, and apparently the line was said, no, you can't kill Lapis, think of the merch. Lapis can't die, there's merch on the line. And that made me laugh so fucking hard. The baby girl can't die, there's merch on the line. There's a merch on the line, she's too marketable. So yeah, Lapis is invincible and invulnerable now, just for the reason of she needs to exist so that I can continue to sell merch of her. Oh that made me laugh so fucking hard. I was just like, oh my god, you're right though, you're so right. You can't kill her, she needs to become a marketable plushie someday, basically, yeah. Plot armor, now we use merch armor around here, yes we do. Grandmother kidnaps Lapis again and is like, you thought you could get away from me? No, back into the merch mines with you. Oh my god. If you want to read a summary of like everything that's happened in that campaign so far, with an emphasis on Lapis's thing, that has all the info. You can get yourself caught up so that you can understand my silly little sketchbook doodles that I post on Blue Sky all the time.